now you know when your family wants to take a Disney vacation and it's time to book your trip. What do you need to have decided on day one when you make that reservation? Well, assuming that you are at least 180 days out from your trip, or about 6 months, the only things you need to know on day one are where you're staying and for how long. And of course, this sparks the big debate of whether or not you should stay on property as a Disney Resort guest or if you should look for options off-site. Now, when deciding which option to choose for your family, I think it's important to look at what type of trip you're planning to take. Are you taking a full Disney vacation where you're doing all Disney things every day? Or are you going to do Disney for a couple of days, hop over to Universal Studios, maybe visit SeaWorld, and really just check out all the different things that Orlando has to offer? If you're taking an Orlando trip, then I do recommend shopping around and pricing out what the best value for your family is as far as hotels and resorts in the area go. However, if you are staying at Disney and doing all Disney things for your trip, then I do recommend staying on property and being a Disney World Resort guest. There are just so many perks that are built into that it really makes it a better value for your trip. And here are a few of those perks. First of all, make sure when you're comparing prices that you're not just comparing rack rates that you found on a chart, but prices that you will actually be paying. Because Disney often offers room promotions, room discounts, where you can get 20 or 30% off of the price of your room. And you'll be happy to know, if you're a family of 4, that you can stay in a Disney hotel for as little as $85 a night at a value resort during certain times of the year. And that is the rack rate before any type of discount. Also, the free dining promotion that we talk about all the time is only available to Disney Resort guests. That in and of itself can be such a huge savings that it blows any other options out of the water. Truly, if you're visiting Disney during a time where free dining is being offered, it's kind of a no-brainer where you should stay. Another money-saving perk is that when you're a Disney Resort guest, you do not have to pay for parking at any of the parks. I believe the current rate is about $15 a day to park, so that really can add up over the course of a week. Another money-saving value is if you are flying into Disney, you don't necessarily have to rent a car. You can depend on Disney transportation the entire time that you're there. The Magical Express buses will pick you up from the airport, and they'll even take your luggage for you and deliver it to your room. And then once you are there, they will cart you around to all of the parks and hotels via buses, monorails, and even boats. Also awesome are something called extra magic hours, and this is when certain parks on certain days will open up 1 hour early in the morning or up to 3 hours later at night for Disney Resort guests. So you're paying the same amount for your ticket as everyone else, but you're getting more time in the parks for your money. Another cool perk are magic bands, and these are your keys to the world when you're at Disney World. As a Disney Resort guest, these are your tickets that are included in the price, but if you're staying off-site, you'll have to purchase your magic bands in a gift shop and have your information loaded onto them after you're in the parks. So as you're making your decision on whether to stay on-site or off-site at Disney World, just remember to add in all of those extra little perks that are included in the price of your vacation package, because they do add up over the course of a week. So now I'm talking to those of you who have decided to stay on property as a Disney Resort guest. If you want to stay at a Disney hotel, you have a ton of options available to you. And this is where I highly recommend getting a Disney Vacation Planning DVD, because on it they will share details of all of the different resorts and what they have to offer. Disney has 3 tiers of resorts, but really more like 4 and kind of actually like 5. And they start at the value level. These resorts are themed for families that love Disney, that love the cartoon aspect. It's sort of Disney in your face. Preschoolers love these resorts. The rooms are smaller, but they're very affordable. So if you're a family of 4, this is a great option if you're on a budget. The moderate resorts are the next tier, and their theming is a little more subtle. It's still Disney, but it's not quite in your face. And the price range, depending on the time of the year, is usually between $130 to $180 in my experience. So actually not terrible compared to other places in the area. And for the Disney level of service, you really can't beat it. Of course, these are also rack rate prices, so this is before any discounts are applied. And then there is the top tier of hotels, which are called deluxe hotels. These are certainly the most expensive, but they're also very nice with their own table service restaurants and great pools. I can't necessarily say that these are the most budget-friendly resorts, but there are a couple of deluxe resorts that are less expensive than others. The Wilderness Lodge and the Animal Kingdom Lodge have slightly smaller rooms, and so their prices are also slightly smaller. Disney also has a campground called Fort Wilderness where you can actually pitch your own tent or bring a camper, and they also have cabins. These cabins sleep up to 6 people, and they're considered at the moderate level, even though the prices are a little more expensive than you'll pay for a regular moderate level hotel room. The most expensive option on property are the villas. These are at the deluxe resorts and they sleep more people, so you may actually be able to go in with a family or grandparents and help save on the cost of those rooms. Now, once you've decided where to stay, you'll have to decide for how long. And my recommendation for a first trip is 5 full park days, which will require 6 nights. This will allow you to see all of Disney's main parks and do the Magic Kingdom twice, which you'll absolutely have to do if you want to see it in its fullness. Most people will agree that Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom are only one-day parks. You can see and do pretty much everything you want in one day. In fact, our family considers them to be half-day parks, and we usually take the other half of the day to visit the pool or go to downtown Disney. Epcot is debatable. You can take 1 or 2 days to do Epcot depending on how into the World Showcase your family is. If you really want to dive into all of the countries and taste all of the food, it may take you 2 days to see and do everything, but our family considers it to be a one-day park. So 5 days in the parks is sufficient for us. Of course, you can have a shorter trip or a longer trip, the more the better, but you will have to decide what to leave out if you take a shorter trip. So that's it. Once you log in, all you have to do is book your room and buy your tickets, and you are well on your way to a Disney vacation. I can't wait to share all the details of dining reservations and fast passes with you next. Thanks, guys.